He made dolls so lifelike people wept. He married wealthy women who adored him, and when the town finally opened his basement, they found wedding dresses on glass cases and names that should have been on living lips. This is the story of a man who loved beauty. Until beauty stopped moving, Marc Esmond ran a boutique atelier that made hyperreal dolls and mannequins. The shop smelled of varnish and soft cloth. Wealthy customers came for bespoke pieces. Marc was charming, generous with compliments, lavish with gifts. He met women who adored his taste and his attention. Romance, weddings, and photographs followed. The walls of his shop were a testament to his success, both as an artist and as a husband. Women were drawn to his world, a world where he promised to cherish them like his finest creations. But his promises were as hollow as the dolls he crafted. For Marc, the vows were not a beginning, but an end. The photographs on the wall weren't memories. They were a collection. Each smile captured, each happy moment frozen in time, was merely a prelude to a chilling silence. He wasn't building a life with these women. He was curating them. Over several years, a pattern emerged. Wealthy women fell in love, married Marc, and then, one by one, they stopped answering letters and calls. Town conversations that began as whispers grew into rumors. Friends noticed empty rooms in Marc's house, and relatives received vague explanations. Investigators were puzzled. No immediate crime scene appeared, and no bodies were found. The dolls in the shop remained a curiosity until Chloe Knoll. The disappearances were clean, almost surgical. One day a woman was the toast of the town, her arm linked with Marc's. The next, she was a ghost. Letters would be sent, claiming she'd moved abroad, tired of the small-town life. But the stories never quite added up. Her favorite coat was still in the closet. Her letters home felt off. It was as if the person was gone, but a faint, lifeless echo remained. Chloe Noel was new to the town and to Marc's affections. After marrying quickly, she noticed small things in the shop and in the man she married's patterns the others missed. One evening, while dusting his basement workshop, Chloe saw a glass case with a white dress and a face she recognized. A face wearing another woman's sweating gown. When she opened Marc's private diary, she found horrifying entries and photos. He was Sinti only making dolls that looked like his wives. He was trying to make them not speak again. It started with a misplaced earring, one she recognized from a photo of Marc's previous wife. Then, it was the way he'd stare at her, not with love, but with an unnerving, artistic appraisal. The basement was his sanctuary, a place she was forbidden to enter. But one night, driven by annoying dread, she picked the lock. The air was cold, sterile. In the dim light, she saw it. A row of glass coffins. Inside each, a wedding dress was draped over a mannequin with an unnervingly familiar face. His diary confirmed her worst fears. It wasn't just a record of his life. It was a blueprint for his collection. He wrote of their beauty, their laughter, and his ultimate goal, to preserve that beauty in perfect, eternal silence. He was turning living, breathing women into objects, and Chloe was next. Chloe managed to sneak out a phone call to the local police and a neighbor. She whispered a location and the words, "He's turning them into dolls." Officers arrived with search warrants. The raid is a sequence of shadows. The basement doors slammed open, torches cutting into the dark, and the discovery of 8 glass cases. Some were empty, others contained dresses and mannequins with an uncanny resemblance to missing women. One case held an unfinished figure, half-formed, with features matching Chloe and tools nearby. Marc was found nearby. Chloe had also left him a set of cuffs she'd hidden. He was arrested. The raid shattered the quiet evening. Police moved through the house, their every step a drumbeat of impending discovery. The basement revealed the full scope of his obsession. Each case was a shrine to a woman who had vanished. The unfinished doll intended for Chloe was the most horrifying discovery of a la Project Interrupted, a life nearly stolen. In a final act of defiance and survival, Chloe not only called for help but also ensured Marc couldn't escape. His perfect, controlled world came crashing down. At trial, the prosecution presented the diary pages, witness testimony, and the unfinished mannequin as key evidence. Marc's lawyers argued obsession and delusion. The judge focused on the disappearance pattern and the physical evidence. He was convicted and imprisoned. His final words, captured in court reporting, were chilling. "I loved beautiful women. I loved them more when they were quiet." The courtroom was captivated by the macabre tale. Marc sat impassively, a creator detached from the consequences of his creations. The diary was not the work of a madman, but of a meticulous predator. The unfinished doll in the evidence box was proof of his intent. It was about possession, about silencing the very life he claimed to adore. The gavel fell, not just on a man, but on a nightmare. After the conviction, the dolls and workshop contents were seized and placed in evidence storage. Experts who later saw the pieces spoke of craftsmanship and madness. Hyperreal faces, carefully sewn skin-like veneers, and dresses with traces of personal perfume. The unfinished doll with Chloe's likeness remains a chilling testament, a project interrupted and a life saved. The workshop was dismantled, its contents catalogued and locked away in sterile evidence rooms. The mannequins, once displayed as art, were now artifacts of a crime. Examiners noted the disturbing detail: the texture of the skin, the delicate placement of hair, the faint scent of a woman's perfume still clinging to the fabric of a wedding dress. They were masterpieces of a twisted mind, objects born from an obsession to own and control. The unfinished doll, blank and featureless, became the most powerful symbol of all, a testament not to what was made, but to what was saved. It represents the moment the cycle was broken, the moment a victim refused to become a silent masterpiece. What drives a person to love an image more than a living soul? Experts and psychologists discuss obsession, control, and the fetishization of silence. The story becomes a lens on how charm can obscure danger and how social status and wealth can mask warning signs. Survivors' voices describe grief and the odd comfort of knowing what happened rather than living with a missing person forever. Mark's case forces us to confront uncomfortable questions. His charm was a weapon, his wealth a shield. He targeted women who felt seen by him only to erase them completely. Psychologists point to a profound pathology: the desire to possess beauty without the complexities of a relationship. He didn't want a partner. He wanted a perfect, controllable object. For the families of the missing, the truth was a double-edged sword. It brought the horror of their loved one's fate, but it also ended the agonizing uncertainty. Knowing, however terrible, was a form of closure. Their grief could finally begin. Mark Esmond sits in prison, surrounded by blank faces and the weight of his actions. The missing women's families remain fractured. Some seek civil justice, others seek quiet closure. The dolls are locked in police storage, and the boutique is shuttered. Chloe rebuilt her life and became an advocate for missing persons awareness. The town keeps the story close to part scandal, part modern Gothic legend. Today, the doll shop is an empty shell, a dark spot on the town's main street. The story of the dollmaker has become a cautionary tale whispered to newcomers. Chloe, the woman who survived, channeled her trauma into purpose. The beautiful, lifeless dolls remain in storage. A silent, chilling monument to a man's deadly obsession and the women he tried to erase. This tale, whether read as Gothic horror or a cautionary true crime fable, asks us to watch for charm that isolates, to listen when someone whispers fear, and to believe survivors. Vote in our poll: was Mark a monster, a madman, or a product of obsession? For resources on domestic violence, missing persons support, and mental health help, please check the links in the description. Thanks for watching.